Welcome to the shop of Joe Petto. Here, you'll find the most amazing gadgets on Earth. Joe Petto always wanted a real boy. Mickey Rooney stars in Silent Night, Deadly Night 5, The Toymaker.
Merry Christmas!
Welcome to The Good, the Bad, and the Sequel. This movie podcast, we're talking sequels, and we do it in two parts. The first, an interview with an actor or someone involved that made the film worth watching. And the second, a discussion of the sequel, what they got right, what they got wrong, and how it could have been better. I hope you enjoyed last week's interview with actor Van Quattro. He bites the dust pretty early in this week's sequel, but man, talk about an interesting guy, because when you look at IMDb, that's all I can go by. And there's no bio or anything else online. So to hear his stories about travel in the world and just like the LA music scene, and he wasn't even thinking about acting growing up in LA, not until a buddy suggested it. Man, great stories, man. Killing Don Cheadle on picket fences. Like, he's the reason that Don Cheadle was off that show. Talking about like Fight Club and of course, the Wings Hauser story I love on LA Bounty. But so if you haven't listened to that, go back after this week's review and check that out. But man, it's holiday season, another toy movie. But I could say I like this one better because the toys moved. And I'm talking Silent Night, Deadly Night 5, Toymaker. Before I get into the holiday season and talk about this holiday sequel, I got to introduce you to my partner in the sequel watching journey, Jamie Riccardi. Jamie, how are you?
I'm doing well, Doug. How are you doing?
Good. Was this movie, I'm going to be honest, was this like a surprise? Like going into looking at the poster and maybe a trailer, like it was surprisingly better.
Okay. Well, okay. I think you're reaching way too high, because I agree with you. It is better than Puppet Master, but you're talking about Puppet Master being like at the bottom of the bottom. So it's not really saying much. I didn't enjoy this movie. I think it stinks. However, However, if you told me, if I didn't know the title of this movie, I would think this would be a Puppet Master movie. This was more Puppet Master than the Puppet Master movie that we saw.
That is true. Puppet Master fans are going nuts right now.
I'm sure they are. And I mean, now I've never seen any of the Silent Night, Deadly Nights. I remember as a kid, it was about a killer Santa Claus, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
There's no Santa Claus in this movie. I mean, there's no killer Santa Claus in this movie.
Well, there was no killer Santa Claus in other movies. It was just somebody dressed as Santa, not actually Santa Claus.
Well, Santa Claus is not real.
Well, oh my God. My daughter's going to be pissed if she listens to this. But no, no. So they turned these movies into like an anthology. Like after the third one, then when Brian took over, Brian Yuzna, friend of the podcast, like the fourth one, which one of the characters from the fourth one is in this movie. So we're going to talk about that because they never reference it. And she says some weird lines in this movie that you're like, wait, you should be like, I've dealt with crazy shit like this like last Christmas or something. But no, one thing I'm going to say, the one thing I really did enjoy about it, because I actually enjoyed this movie. I'm not going to lie. The one parts I did really like is the mystery of the guy. Because in my notes for so long, he's just the guy.
Okay. So here's my problem. I mean, first of all, the special effects were pretty good. I'll give you right. Okay. So I'll give that credit, but the movie was confusing as hell because they really don't explain a lot until like the last 5 minutes.
No, they
nothing
really
at all.
Don't. It was like definitely it was going to this. Like I was guessing along the way, trying to think of like who's doing what.
But they don't explain. They don't explain how he's able to do what he does or how he makes these toys. Right? Unless I missed it. Like, how is he able to? Okay, none of that. There's a lot of questionable things that are happening that really make no sense. And I'm going to be honest with you. I think the biggest villain is the kid who stopped talking because he had the murder weapon the entire time that killed his stepfather.
Well, his real dad.
No, it's not his real dad.
Well, he thought it was his real dad.
Okay. So, in his mind, his real dad.
Yeah.
All he had to do is say, hey, this is what killed him. He didn't say anything the entire time. And if he opened his mouth from the beginning, the rest of the movie, none of that will happen.
What a trope in movies that we've covered. And like a lot of horror movies, just people not talking anymore. Danielle Harris, Halloween 5.
Like, does that really happen? Like,
Tommy.
First of all, okay, so if you're not talking anymore and you stub your toe, do you yell in silence?
Well, I thought of that. I'm 100%. I thought of that in the end of the movie, which we won't talk about it now. I'm like, she's never going to know he's around because he doesn't talk.
And, okay, so she knows, I mean, I think with this movie, we're going to be doing a lot of jumping around. So she knows he's not talking at all. Yet there's parts of this movie where she's yelling for him.
Yeah.
And like, she knows he's not going to answer. So why is she yelling for him?
Maybe she's hoping, like, maybe this will be the time he's finally an answer.
There's so many questionable things that happen in this movie that I just like. It's just so everything. It's just bizarre. Like, I mean, there's so many things, especially with her. And again, horrendous parenting all around. Okay.
Oh yeah.
And, I mean, all around, and including the Toymaker. I mean, he's a horrible father, but I mean, he's like a 90-year-old man with and. I really didn't understand that whole concept with the reveal and everything else. Like,
I thought it was cool. Like once I saw it, but I didn't expect that to happen. But so here's a funny anecdote from our buddy Rob Schnitzer, who's a listener. He became like a buddy of ours. He told me about that Mickey Rooney was one of the people in Hollywood protesting the original movie. So like, oh, why would you do that to Christmas? And then what? 4 movies later, you want to check?
And not for nothing. Like, I mean, I don't know if he won an Academy Award. I'm assuming he's been in I mean, I know he's been in a lot of big movies.
Well, I sent you that GIF. Maybe I don't know if he got an Academy Award. He was maybe honored.
But that's what I mean. Like, he's been around for. I mean, he was a child actor. You know,
he was. Yeah,
you're right. So I mean, listen, he was in Pete's Dragon, the original Pete's Dragon.
He's still alive.
Dude, he looked like 90 in this movie. You know, I mean,
well, no, that's what I was going to say. He looked older here than he did at Night at the Museum because I just watched that not too long ago with my daughter. And the Muppets movie that came out in like 2011. He was in that.
He was?
He was randomly sitting on the bench during the opening song. Life's a Happy Song.
Okay. You know what? Not for nothing. I think at a certain age, all old people look the same.
No, but how old do you think he is here?
He's got to be at least in his 70s, at least.
So
and I would say,
so he died like 90 something?
Yeah, but first of all, I feel like he's looked the same for years. Because even if you look at him in Pete's Dragon, which came out, in the 80s, I guess, he played
Pete's Dragon? It was in the 80s?
The original?
Oh, yeah, Pete's Dragon?
The original.
Maybe.
I'm not talking about the remake. I'm talking about the original. Had to be the 80s.
No, 77.
Oh, okay, 77. And he looks the same now that he did. He's got the Steve Martin thing. Steve Martin looks exactly the same he's done in the 70s that he does now. And I think Mickey Rooney was very similar.
You're right. Yeah, he was what year is this movie? He was born in 20, so he was 70 something.
Right, okay.
Yeah. He died in 2014.
Oh, probably right after the Night Museum.
His parents were vaudeville.
I'm sure. I mean,
and he was a toddler on stage with them.
Yeah, I said he was. He started off as a child actor. So I mean, if you told me like Hollywood people to be in a horror movie, like the fifth one, like ones that no one's even going to watch, this is like I would never think Mickey Rooney like that. He'd be the last thing I would ever think of. You know, like I could see
he did it.
He did but he doesn't seem like I don't know his movies, but I don't think he's the Nicolas Cage, Bruce Willis that just keeps pumping out movies. You know, if you told me Bruce Willis is going to be in a horror movie, I would believe it. He just makes movies left and right. Yeah. Mickey Rooney, I don't think he did that. So like, there must have been a reason why he picked this movie.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe the check was good enough.
I don't know about that. I mean, I can't. Well, the budget. I mean, I don't know what the budget is. What was the budget?
I don't know what it was either. But if you're going to protest the first one, there must be a reason.
Yeah, I know.
The fifth one. You know,
that's true.
Maybe Brian was buddies with him.
Maybe the kid maybe he's got like a grandson in the movie or something or whatever. But okay, all right.
I think you're gonna say maybe he has a grandson. So when his grandson watches this movie, he gets tormented to see what is.
How can anyone believe that that's his son in the movie? By the way.
Oh, I that's what I said right away too. But I was kind of I guess right, but not what the ending would be.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say that's hard to guess that ending.
No. I didn't guess the ending, but I was like, oh, the age gap is too big. So let's get into it. So we get into the opening scene of the movie. We get like this rando couple walking around the neighborhood who we see later in the movie. We see them 3 times. And the guy plays like a perfect dick. And his death scene, like that scene's kind of like really funny and it's really good. But then we get Derek. We see him in the window. And I don't know what the record is for seeing people bone in a movie. But man, they're going to town.
Well, literally, it was like seconds into this movie. Like it was almost the first scene. But there's also two separate people, or I would say 4 people having sex at the same time, 2 different scenes later on in the movie.
I know.
Which you've never seen in a movie either. Usually you focus on the one. Here it's like they literally had 2 going on at the exact same time.
And the best is they cut back and forth to Sarah, the mom. And when they cut back the one time, it was really just for like 2 seconds of like thrusting. And then they went back to the other one. I'm like, why do we have to see that?
Yeah, I know. It's so weird. But yeah, so I mean, like the poor kid, first of all, parents don't lock the doors. I mean, like they have a kid that obviously gets up in the middle of the night. Cause I mean, it didn't seem like it was the first time he's waking up in the middle of the night.
Which he doesn't sleep. He was staring out the window.
Correct. Okay. Which I think the father overreacts big time when he catches him. But we're not.
I don't know. I'd freak out if my kid was opening the door.
So you're telling me you're going to hold your son up in the air and basically scream in his face, "What are you doing up?" Like, a little excessive, And he's young, right? So they don't lock the doors.
That's true. Well, he can open the door. We didn't see him unlock it, but
how'd the kid know the gift was out there? Like, what made him go outside to open that door?
I don't know. Was there a sound?
No, I don't think so.
Well, he didn't follow the rules because it said don't open till Christmas.
No, he followed the rule. The father didn't follow the rule.
Oh, the father did, yeah.
And, okay, so the kid is holding a gift. First of all, he gets a lot of mystery gifts that no one questions. Like the
the mother, like, thinks it's from someone else. And then once she reveals, then she's like, oh, really?
I know, but if my children come home or bring in a gift, like I don't know where it came from, but someone gave it to me. You're going to be okay with that? Like,
no,
that's weird.
Be a bomb. I'd throw it right outside.
Yeah. But what makes the father open it? Like, obviously, the kid's holding it, so it's for the kid. So the father decides to open it?
Maybe it's a Game Boy. he goes in there. But his death scene, man, talk about that, man. Oh, my God.
Yeah, but, okay. So there's a few deaths in here that I feel like could be avoidable. So he opens up the gift and he sees this toy and he's like staring at it like it's like the most bizarre thing in the world.
Yeah.
And it reminds me of the He-Man guy that the head turns around, it's one face, and then he turns around again, it's another face. Like this is, and then the toy attacks him, but it looks like it's like I guess octopus or whatever. Like his arms stretch around his face. He can't like run to the kitchen, grab scissors, and cut the arms off.
Well, I don't know. Maybe in that situation, you're like so stricken with fear. You're not thinking about scissors.
He didn't do anything. He stood there and he screamed. He didn't do anything.
You know what? I thought that when we saw Santa open his mouth and you saw like the electro, I'm like, oh, he's gonna get shocked, and then that'll like cause him to like shake or something. But man, what a way to go! You're like, his thought was, hey, let me reach for like a fire poker. And then he knocks them off. Okay. I don't know. I don't know why.
Again, that would
pull it on there.
Okay. Did he try to pull it off his face with his hands?
Yeah, he did a little bit. Okay. Good grip. That Santa had a good grip. But for the fact that the one poker sticks up, he knocks them all over. One sticks up, and that's how he goes. And Derek sees this. The little kid sees this.
Okay. We're talking about bad parenting. So they don't lock the door, and they have the poker stick standing straight up. Isn't it supposed to be pointing down to the ground?
Pointing down, you're right.
So why is it sticking straight up? Okay, so far we've learned about his parents. They have sex with the door open. They don't lock the front door. They scream at the child for waking up in the middle. What if he was going to the bathroom? Like the father didn't even know what he was doing. He was just yelling at his son for being up at the middle of the night. Okay, and then they have poker sticks that are sticking straight up.
And when the mom comes down and sees her husband keeled over like dead, she just says, Tom, is that what you do when you see somebody? Like, what do you want them to say? Like, answer back. Yeah, honey.
well, hey, again, there's the same mother that's yelling to her mute son, trying to get an answer, and who's also basically sleeping with someone 2 weeks after her husband dies?
So we're going to talk about that.
Okay.
We got to talk about that. But no, here's one note that I had. I think the reason that Tom opened the box was because it moved. So it intrigued him because there was like a movement to it. So maybe that's why you check it. But again, I'm totally with you. If a random gift's outside, I'm going to throw it out. But no, so let's talk about that now. So you think this is 2 weeks after or a year?
It says 2 weeks. It said 2 weeks.
Oh, fuck. I missed that. Okay.
It said 2 weeks later. I'm almost positive. It said 2 weeks later because that's why.
Even crazy.
Well, but think about it because that's what they had. She had the things in the bedroom. She had the wake cards in the bedroom. She had all those, right?
I missed them. Yeah, I missed that.
She had all that right there. So it was 2 weeks later. I mean, first of all, the kid didn't eat. Yeah, no, so I think it was only 2 weeks later that he listen. He wasn't silent for a year.
I didn't know. That's why I was trying to think of like how crazy this was because they were like, you don't have to open the gift or you don't have to send it Santa's lap.
Wait. So you think that he was silent for a year and then after a year she decided, you know what? Let me take you to the toy store now.
Yeah. Maybe you need like a year break, you know?
Okay.
You needed like that little buffer.
No, it was, I'm almost positive it said 2 weeks later. And I think that would make sense because she, again, in the bedroom, she's sleeping with her son now and their cards are all from like the funeral. We're all on the desk.
Yeah. Didn't even catch that. Hey, so you know who edited this movie? Hopefully, fingers crossed. I'll be interviewing him soon. Norman Buckley. That's the reason you first reached out to him. And I was trying to think of what movie it was for. But yeah, Norman Buckley did the editing in this movie. So, God, man. So then we get, this is the first time we see it. So Sarah, like you said, she's laying in bed with Derek, and we see this suspicious guy driving past. And I'm telling you, I don't know what point, maybe like 50 minutes in, we find out who he really is. But this whole time, I'm like, who the frig is this guy?
And he does a lot of questionable things. You know, I mean, I can't wait to talk about the motel part with the landlord. I mean, there's a lot of like I said, there's just a lot of things that just don't make sense in this movie. I feel like they piece together, and then I'm not taking a shot at the editing because he did the best with what he had, but I feel like the script is all pieced together like without like thinking about the next scene kind of thing.
Yeah, no, it was like, for me, I'm totally on board with you. But in a sense, it was fun to watch a movie that I really had no clue who the guy was. It was like such a mystery to me because, and I would, a million years, now it makes sense. Like when we find out what the end part is, but like, I'm just like, who the frig is this guy? And then another thing, I was like, why are they targeting Derek? That was another thing that they didn't explain that at all. No. It wasn't like, oh, you guys came into the toy store one day and I saw the kid and I wanted, no, nothing like that.
There's no explanation in anything until the end of the movie. Like there's really, why is a toy maker mad at everybody? How does he have the powers to make these toys? They don't explain any of that. Like, you know, why does he keep his son in a dungeon? Like, you know, it's like really. Yeah.
Well, I have a theory when we get to that. I'll have a theory, but hey, isn't it cool when we do these movies now and we hear like, or see other actors that we've like interviewed? So Derek was watching Rambo, the cartoon.
I know.
Voiced by Neil Ross. Which
I used to watch that cartoon. So
cool. Like wild that was a thing.
Yeah.
So then here we talk about Joe Petto, which I get it's a play on Geppetto, but when there's kids involved in a movie and the guy's last name is Petto.
And he's very creepy. Like the scene when he starts talking to him, his face is like inches from the kid's face.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I mean, like, and like, first of all, it looks like the most boring toy store ever.
Oh my God. It just looks like metal shelves.
Yeah, it looks awful. The toys look awful. They don't look fun. I mean, the fact that he gives them a toy, one, that the thing has a long tongue, which is weird. And then the toy he gives him looks like a bug or whatever, like that, it was just an awful toy. Like the mom thought that's what's going to get the kid to start talking. Like, I mean, one thing, you go to Toys R Us, like, listen, Toys R Us has everything. It's exciting. The music, this is like a dark, dreary, it almost looks like homemade toys. Which a lot of them are.
Well, that's what it was. He was, he was like a toy maker. That's why, like, the one that they tried to give to him was Larry the Larvae. Which
That's
we'll talk about that later.
Like that looks like a fun toy. Like it's just awful.
Oh my god.
Well, his son is Pinocchio, which is Pino, right?
No,
you didn't get that.
Why would I think Pino is Pinocchio? But holy
shit. You had the Geppetto. How'd you not get Pino?
I did not get that. Wow. So that's it. If I would have thought about it then, I would have known the entire movie almost. Well, one part of it. Like I would have guessed that right away. Holy shit,
no, you wouldn't have. There's no way you would have guessed.
No, I wouldn't have guessed. I wouldn't have guessed the ending, but I would have guessed.
I don't know if you would have guessed that.
Really?
Yeah, it's because it's so bizarre. You know, you wouldn't have guessed. I don't think anyone would guess it. I mean, they definitely, it was a good. You know, they definitely tricked everybody, but we'll get there. But yeah,
you know, one thing that tricked me too. You like when we saw again. Which I'm going to call him the guy until like we actually find his name like when they reveal it, when Sarah says his name. But when we see him again, after like they leave Geppetto's store and like Derek's like kind of freaked out. And then you see the guy again drive past. And you know what? I think they do this so many times in movies. And I don't think they do it purposely, but when they cast actors that look similar, because Pino and the guy sort of look alike. So there was like some points I'm like, holy shit, man, he followed him home pretty quick. But it wasn't the same guy, but they sort of like had this kind of like same vibe as it.
Yeah, they both look creepy. They both acted creepy. I mean, Pino, was extremely creepy. And the fact that you don't know what's going on, you just think he's a creepy kid. And he's not even a kid. I mean, he's probably in his 20s. And I mean, and the way, like the minute they leave the store, the way Mickey Rooney screams at his son that he wishes he goes, that kid's more of a son than you are, or something like that. Like he was awful.
Oh, you know what? That's why. But no, he already chose him. They already like sort of chose him before that. But that would have been a good point. Like if that was like a flashback, that scene, then the end of the movie would have like made more sense.
But what's Mickey Rooney's end game? Like what's his like? I feel that. I mean, without like revealing it yet, like I feel like he's like, it's hard to talk about it without talking about the end. So
I'm going to say I think you're kind of off. So when we get to it, I think you're in for a rude awakening because you keep saying Mickey Rooney.
Well, yeah, I know. Well, okay, we'll talk. All right,
we'll talk about it later.
Right,
but So random guy after he's flipping out on his son, random guy's just in there buying a bunch of toys. Like he buys all these toys and then they find out he's there. And then he even picks up Larry the Larva. He wants to buy that.
Is this the only toy store around that everybody goes there?
They make it seem like it's like a small town that they don't have like the mall kind of thing, I guess. That makes sense for the story.
Okay. All right. Although they do feel they do feel like high tech toys for, a little Toymaker.
Yeah. But the fact that he's buying so many toys because Mickey Rooney like reveals that Joe Petto, and he's like, oh, you've been buying a lot of toys lately. And in my head, I'm like, that's kind of weird. Like, what's he doing with these toys?
Well, when they show him in the motel room, he's got all these toys there. I had no idea what he was doing. I didn't know what he was doing. You knew what he was.
No, I had no idea what he was doing at this point. I didn't know. And then the fact that this is like, oh my god, how do we stop tiptoeing around this?
I know.
Without, because it would make more sense.
Yeah, it makes more sense now because then you realize what he was doing. But when you're first watching the movie, you're like, why does he have? I mean, obviously they're trying to make it look like he's the bad guy. He's the one delivering the toys. He literally has tons of toys, and then one of the toys he gives away, it becomes a murder weapon. So like, yeah.
So no. Here's how we could talk about it without like revealing the ending. So. This guy, we'll still call him the guy. So he has something that's not revealed for later in the movie, but it would make more sense if we talked about it now. Is that when he was a kid where he grew up, Joe Petto had a place, and one of the toys that were made maimed a kid and like hurt him. So he like moved. So he like set out after he's ex-military. And he's out on the lam to buy all the toys to find the ones that can maim kids. So I know it makes.
Wait. You got all that from the movie?
That was he revealed that there was exposition from the movie.
That's all new to me. I didn't hear. I don't think I heard any of that.
No. So he talks about that. Yeah. So he talks about
when
that.
When did he talk about that?
At the end, like after it's revealed, like who he is and like everything like that.
I don't know how I missed that. I didn't get any of that.
So that's why I wanted to mention that now, because if he had that inkling that, hey, one of these rando toys that I'm sort of testing out to see if they're deadly, let me give it to this guy to to infect, right?
Okay, wait. Okay, so hold on. Okay, so now that we're at that point, so before he gives him, so the guy's looking for, I guess, his rent money he's living in a motel, all right?
Yeah.
He's clearly his rent money is going to toys. He's spending all his money. His room is filled with toys. Yeah. So and the landlord could see that because he's opening the door and he sees all his toys around. The landlord is like basically kicking him out. The guy says, "Listen, I'll pay you tomorrow." He's not buying any of that until he offers him, "I'll give you a toy, a great toy you can give your son." And then the guy goes, "You know what? You don't look like a deadbeat." So the toy is what made him change his mind, not the fact that he has to not pay for his rent. But you know what? Yeah, now you don't look like a deadbeat because you're going to give me a toy. And it looked like a piece of crap. It wasn't like a PlayStation. It was a doll. It was like ridiculous. That was okay to pass the rent.
Yeah, I'd be like, yeah, my son's gonna hate me now because that's like super frightening. Larry the larvae.
It looks like a turd. It looked like a turd. But I just can't believe how quickly the landlord changed his tune because he said, "I'll give you a toy."
You know what? People that give toys, they're not deadbeats. Is that what it is in the definition? Be like, deadbeats wouldn't give out toys.
He basically called him a deadbeat the entire conversation until he offered a toy.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe you're not a deadbeat.
Him like ex-military. He talked about like being ex-military and all this stuff, and that he didn't buy that. But a toy? Really? Wait, you served 7 tours in the military? You did so much. You fought for our country. Get the fuck out of here. Wait, you got a toy? Stay.
And wouldn't you question why he has a toy? Like, why do you have toys? Like, why are you giving away toys?
And what's his last line to him? Remember, don't open till Christmas. And then you're like, that's what it said on the other packages, right? You're like, at this point, I'm just like, oh my God, he's the one who dropped off the toy to Derek. Like, I was like, I know. I was like, it's got to be him. Like, why are we meeting this guy? There has to be like some point to it. I thought he was a good guy.
There's literally about 5 twists in this movie.
That's what I mean, which is like kind of like good for a movie that is of this like ilk that has that ability to do that. Like some movies don't even try to do that.
Agreed, but at the same time, I've never seen any of these movies. I don't know what the connections are. So when you go into this blind, I was confused throughout the whole movie. What is going on? It didn't make all this didn't make sense. So because all the twists kind of happened all at the same time. Basically, like within the 10 minutes, within 10 minutes. So it's so I have to wait. The movie's an hour and a half. I got to wait 80 minutes to find out what's going on in this movie.
I think it was worth it, but So then we get Larry the larvae. The guy throws him. I think he threw him in the passenger seat, and then he stopped and then he fell out. But it had like these goofy eyes, and then I know it's like moving, and I love when it's turned on, and the guy is like, "Hey, stop it!" And you're thinking the thing's gonna pinch him.
How did he get out of the box?
When it fell on the floor, and it somehow fell out of the box.
The box was closed with the plastic on it. How does it fall out? How does it fall out? Because was the guy looking? First of all, why is he looking at a toy while he's driving?
Yeah, essentially, when it was crawling towards him, it was like, and we even got the electrical shockers in between and all of that. But now I love the fact that he tossed it in the back seat, and then when it climbs up the seat, and holy shit, that's why Brian loves special effects. Like we saw it in obviously Reanimator, From Beyond, Bride of Society. He always, I don't know if Screaming Mad George worked on this one, but dude, the freaking effects, the thing jumping at the guy.
But you know what though? There was no blood. This thing went through his mouth and out his eye, and there wasn't an ounce of blood. Nothing.
How great did that look when it pulled the face? It basically ate the face.
No, so now if that's happening to you, let's just say for argument's sake, you got something that's crawling into your mouth like that. What would be the first thing you do?
Crash the car.
Okay, well, you could do that, but I don't know if it's gonna. I would bite. You can't bite down on this thing.
Wow, you'd bite it. Okay.
Well, why wouldn't you bite it? It's okay. If you don't bite it, the whole thing's crawling inside your mouth. Oh, that's gross. But going through your mouth and out your eyes, not gross. But biting it, I can't.
Where do you think it went? Like, if it's in his mouth, did it just go up? Did it just eat real quick all around that?
Well, your mouth is below your eyes. I don't think.
No, I know it is.
Well, you said it didn't go up. So you think it went?
No, I know eventually it went up, but I'm saying, do you think it went and just ate all the brain? Like, did it go? What was its strategy? Because in seconds, it was like it was like deflated basketball.
Well, you ever see people you ever see that guy that could squirt like milk out of his eye?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so I mean, I don't think it's a long way to get from the mouth to the eye. I think it's like one loop. Like if you had someone that had no eyes, like as a clear socket, and they had like a piece of rope, and you kind of like weave it in there and come out the eye, I think you could go like a floss.
You can do that. Just go back and forth. Oh my God. And then this is a line that I wrote, and I don't know if you felt the same way at this point, but that's why I love doing this with the notes, because it really shows the reveal of I would love to have done this for movies like The Game with Michael Douglas, these movies that have all these twists and turns. Because I wrote, so that guy gave a killer toy because he asked about a bounce check. Because that's what I'm at. That's where I'm at.
Wait, you thought he did it on purpose?
Yes, at this point, I didn't know who he was. You didn't know?
I didn't know, but I didn't think he did it on purpose. I just thought these toys are coming alive for some. Again, I think there was so much going on. I didn't have time to think. I didn't have time to try to reason what was going on. It was just one thing after another. Each scene was another absurd scene that was going on.
Well, this is the first time we get a little breadcrumb. So at this point, random guy, I'll call him. Random guy breaks into the toy store. He's looking around and he finds a photo that's dated from 1970, and Pino looks the same. So this is the first time I'm like, okay, well, Pino's a toy. He's a big toy.
Wait, you really thought that when you saw that?
Yeah, because it was a photo from 1970. He looked the same. He's got an age of 21 years.
You know what? I might have missed that part. I was probably taking notes when I saw that because I can't imagine it was up there. Who was looking at that picture?
Random guy. He broke into the toy store after hours.
Okay. I remember that. I don't remember him picking up the picture. Or you know what, though? If I did, I probably didn't put two and two together. My mind was so scrambled from everything I've been watching so far that I don't think I even thought. So you're telling me in that moment you thought he was a toy the whole time?
Oh, I thought he was a toy because he looked the same for 21 years. And the Geppetto, just because of the Geppetto thing, but the Pinocchio thing it would have made a sure thing at that point. But how about when he has the cliche Jack Daniels in the top drawer of the filing cabinet? Goodness. He had a rough day toy making.
First of all, he's at the shop. There's no locked door there. Literally just walked in. He opened the front door.
Well, no. Well, as we see at the end of the movie, he might be the the Guinness Book World Record holder for lock picking. Because when he picks the lock at the end of the movie, it is no joke. He's and I'm like, holy shit. I thought he was going to punch the window, do the punch the window, open the door thing, kick it in. No, takes out whatever was in his pocket. I don't know if he had a bobby pin or something, or he just had a lock picking kit, but he was like,
yeah, but I'm thinking because, Pino walks into the house pretty easy too.
Nobody locks the doors.
Maybe when you're in a small town, no one locks the door, but he trusts everybody.
Sure.
And they forgive very quickly, because the mom forgave Pino very quickly.
Yes.
So
very so quickly. And Geppetto.
Yeah. But but even that, the things that Pino does in this movie don't make sense. And even at the end, when you know what he is and what he's asking for, but the way he's doing it is very bizarre.
Oh, that's pretty funny.
So I feel like there's so much that they're trying to do, and then they do weird things that just kind of I don't know.
No, exactly. I don't know either, but that's what I kind of like enjoyed. So I didn't know. So the whole time it's like a ride. I'm like, I don't know what's going to happen next. But no, so then we cut from here because when random guy opens the hatch, Pino was in there. So he like, and then we cut from there, like right from that. And then we get Derek and he's, yeah.
But because Pino's like looking at the mom's underwear.
Oh, yeah.
Why?
I don't know.
I mean, okay, so like that's why like I wasn't thinking, you know, the a puppet thing or whatever. Like I still thought he was just a creepy kid that he just I just that didn't make sense. And then all right.
Well, that makes sense. And I told you that the photo was from 1970 and he looked the same. So then we get so Derek, he's listening to like a speak and spell, and his mom goes, "Hey, let's go to visit Santa." And then Derek has another gift with the same label that was at the front door. So, and then this is where I wrote, like, so Tom died weeks ago or last Christmas, because making the kid visit Santa is kind of fucked up at this point. If it is a few weeks, that's terrible.
It is it definitely a few, like I said, definitely a few weeks. I think it's not the next Christmas. But why would Santa Claus be messed up? Santa Claus had nothing to do with it.
But it was a present. What's at the mall near Santa? They have a pile of presents.
The kid is holding on to the thing that killed his father. It's in his room. Why?
He liked it. Maybe he liked his dad.
And how come he doesn't move anymore? How come it's not alive anymore?
Well,
like if the kid was sent there to kill the kid, if the toy was sent there to kill the kid, why isn't it trying to kill him when he's sleeping? It's in his room.
That is true. The thing moves one time, like when.
So it has one chance. If you don't do it, then you can't do it anymore. Then you're not alive anymore. Okay.
Oh my god! And then Santa is random guy. He's a young Santa.
He's
and
the worst. He's the worst looking Santa I think I've ever seen. Like,
how do you get the job?
How do you get that? Yeah. Well, the way he interacts with the kids, he comes across so creepy. He's like staring at the kids. He's aggressive, but he looks so young. Also, like, why would you like? And then you have the next best Santa is Clint Howard, who's like one of the ugliest people around. Like, so like, how do you like who's hiring for these kids?
That's true. They're trying to hire the ugliest Santa, but I think it's so funny that Clint Howard's in this because he's in the fourth one. So he's
same
in
character.
The fourth one. No, he's like this homeless guy. Like the fourth one's more about like cults, like the one that Brian directed, and Kim, the redhead, who is gorgeous. I don't know why she wasn't in more stuff after this. She was great in the fourth one, but she's the same person in this movie, which is crazy. The redhead neighbor.
That's weird.
Same person, but doesn't question like what happened in the past, like or what's going on right now. So it's the
same character.
Kim, well, the same name. I would think it's the same character, like same first name. It'd be weird to cast like out of all the women names out there.
So Clint Howard is definitely not the same.
No, he was like this homeless guy that was. I think he actually died in that movie. I think. I forgot.
All right. Well, whatever.
But yeah, let's bring him back for another. But he's only in it there. I thought he was going to be in more because he was pretty early in the credits too.
Oh, and let me ask you this: so, like, you see this a lot in movies at mall Santas. That there's always like a back room with a bunch of Santas hanging around, and yeah. Is that how it is? I'm assuming there's like one mall Santa that works that day. And then they
don't switch. I was thinking about that. I'm like, there was 4 Santas in there.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, are they switching every hour? Like, what
every
are they
movie,
paid?
Every movie has that. Every movie that has they have a bunch of Santas hanging around the break room. Like they get paid so much to do a Santa sit down as Santa, you know. And none of them they all look like they drink a lot, smoke a lot, and just like are the grumpiest people ever in every single movie. There's never like a good Santa.
I did like before, like when he saw Derek out there, random guy, he was like, "Oh, can I take your shift to Clint?" He's like, "Really, man? What are you, high?" And then he goes out there, and I love the first girl. Did you notice what she asked for? It was very faint. She asked for like a bike, clothes, and the last thing she says, and the tape of Bride of Reanimator.
Did she really?
That's great that Brian funny. Put that in there. Yeah,
that is funny.
So cool. But no, so then we get yeah. So at this point, again, I don't know what's going on with this guy. But when Derek sits on his lap and then he won't let him go. And I'm like, How is he gonna arrest it?
And the mom's okay with it. Like she was like getting flustered, but like, and then they walk away. Like, wouldn't you go like call mall security? Like,
whoa. That's definitely you call mall security. What's worse, the mom not like overreacting, or how about the elf lady still wanting to take the picture when there was like a chaos going on? She's like, all right, time for a picture. And I'm like, are you kidding me?
Well, I mean, kids do, usually act out when they're taking a picture with Santa Claus. So
but usually Santa should let go. I think that's part of the policy. It's not like they go through that, like the Santa training book. Like, oh, if a kid starts crying, squeeze him real tight.
How old is the kid?
I would say Derek's probably 8.
Okay. I was going to say, because he looks like he could be old for Santa a little bit. No?
Yeah, maybe.
Oh, okay. All right.
Oh my god! But you mentioned already, like, what's his name? Pedo was creeping in the house, sniffing panties and bras, and at this point, I even wrote down, are like random guy and Pedo working together, like Pino?
And okay, so no, you figuring out what Pedo is? How'd you not question what he was doing? Or Pino?
I did question what he's doing. I thought it was so weird that he was sniffing the panties and everything.
No, but I mean, as what he is, I'm saying, like you like that, like you didn't say like why is he like?
No, I didn't. I wouldn't have thought what is revealed at the end of the movie. I wouldn't think that was the whole thing. Like, no, I wouldn't have. I don't think no matter what I would have thought about it. But no, dude. And then the fact that, yeah, he gets found in the house, Pino.
Yeah. And she doesn't know that he came out of the closet, right? Because she was calling. Okay, she was calling for the son. The son's not answering, and then she blamed his headphones for him not answering, even though he hasn't talked in 2 weeks.
He had to talk anyway. But I love when they showed him. It looked like he was dead on the ground. They just showed his legs, like lifeless, and you're like, "Holy shit, he killed him!" And no,
but why is she blaming his headphones? And what is he possibly listening to? That thing looks like a Fisher Price, like cassette play. Like that doesn't take any. Like it has pre-recorded like
Mary
song.
Had a Little Lamb.
That's what it looks like. It has.
Then he flips it over when it's done. The London Bridge is falling, and he's like rocking out to it, like.
Yeah, okay, but okay. Then you have Pino coming out of the closet. Like okay, so which is obviously, to me, I would think that's not the first time he's done that. And how long has he been hiding in a closet watching her change and do whatever?
Yeah, he was probably there that night watching him, Tom Boner or something.
So that's why when the lame excuse of why he thinks that Pino is there, when Pedo explains why Pino is there, is such a lame excuse. Like I don't even.
What was it again?
That they used to live there.
Oh my God! Yeah, that was
what does that have to do with anything? So basically, if you used to live in a house, you have every right to creep in there and hide in closets in the bedroom. That's okay because I used to live here. It's okay.
But I did love her response because it was like, I love in movies and they actually have the responses that a normal person would have in real life. She's like, just because you live there doesn't give you a right to show up at a house and anything. I'm like, thank you. Finally, like when lines in movies are like that.
But her tone changed. Like she was yelling at, like she wanted to press the charges. She's yelling at Pedo, and then when he said that, he goes, I understand why. She's like, oh, okay. Like really? It's like, and it didn't question the fact that he could have been watching her do whatever. I mean, so.
Yeah, no, he freaks out, man. When he's like, it's not going to happen again. And he looks over at him in a way like he's going to murder him.
He's so creepy. Like Mickey Rooney does play a creepy role in this. Like he's oh my goodness.
And so this is the only scene that I have for us to look at. It's like George the Animal Steel. He's taking him down pretty good. But now that we know the end, you look at the looks that Pino gives.
His movement is it right.
Yeah. Oh.
He's got a lot of power for a little guy.
Dude, Mickey Rooney looks crazy.
Oh, he does.
He's
doing all his own stunts.
I wonder if this is one take or they made him like have to punch this guy multiple times. Oh.
Okay.
See, now at this point, if I never saw that photo when he looked at the photo, it's in 1970. At this point, then that's when I would have been like, oh, he just killed his son.
Right. That's what I'm thinking.
He turned him into a toy. Yeah.
That's what I thought happened, and then he made the toy after. And that's what I thought.
No, I can see that.
And first of all, I think Mickey Rooney puts it all out there in that scene. Like he was going for the Academy Award for that scene, the screaming, the punching. Like he was like, this guy's 70-something years old. He's like 5 foot. He's like a tiny little guy, and he put it all out there.
I love that. He was really like punching.
He looked like a lunatic. He looked like a lunatic.
Oh my god.
So okay.
Yeah.
So
yes.
Is this where we find out what he is, or no? We still don't know. No. Okay. So we just think he just killed his son.
Well, I think you're wrong. Of like what you're thinking right now. You keep alluding to like what was wrong. So I can't wait to get to that part.
Don't we see two of them at some point? I thought we saw.
Yeah, we do.
Okay, so that's why I was confused. Okay, all right, never mind.
Okay,
all right.
We'll get to it. We'll get there. All right. So Sarah finally gets Derek to sleep in his room again, and I love oh my god, how great was it? The gift that was in the car that she thought was from Kim. Derek, finally, a responsible person. He goes, fuck this. I know what happened last time. He takes it, puts it in the trash, and then Kim, the neighbor, the hot redhead, her son goes over, grabs a random present, right?
That's in the garbage. So like you're assuming it'd probably be broken. Why would you grab it? But like
that's true.
What's with his like tough guy attitude? He looks like he's in 7th grade. And he's talking crap to the older kids and like.
That was me as a kid. Yeah, I would always do that. Yeah.
Okay. Ridiculous.
Give him the business.
He was.
But now I love that he puts on these rollerblades and he's like zooming past them, and you're like thinking like, okay.
So by the way, perfect fit. Like fit him perfectly.
That is true. He was a lot older than Dave.
Yes. So the perfect fit. And let me tell you something. He could have avoided a lot of things when it happens to his whatever happens to him. Like he could avoid it. Fall on the ground.
On his butt.
Sit on the ground. Like why? Yeah. Like why he didn't do that instead? Like all over the place. It made no sense.
Yeah, I love the fact that he's like when it starts going off, he's like in the driveway of Derek, and it's like and he starts like doing like all these like circles for a little bit. And then he goes into the street, and some guy driving hits him.
And the injuries that he has don't really match for what happened. His body got hit. Somehow his entire head is wrapped in gauze. As if he like it was ridiculous. I don't think he had any brace on his arms or anything.
No, I don't think so.
It was just his face. Like his face got mangled.
Maybe the actor who did the other scene couldn't do that day. So they're like, "What are we gonna do?" They're like, "Just mummy him up." Just put him in a mummy. We can put anybody behind there. Guy, girl, who cares? Nobody will know because he really didn't say anything.
Yeah,
he was just sitting there. Oh my god, I love that, dude. That shit was so funny. And then that's when the red. Wait,
I did write something down.
Fell off the shelf.
His arm was in a net. I don't know if you remember. Like there was like a net hanging from this. It was like a weird thing. I was questioning like, why is his arm in this net?
That's like an old timey thing in movies. Like instead of using a slinger on your neck, it would be like a sling on the pole.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Weird. But this is the part where the Santa ball that killed Tom in that opening scene falls off the shelf. So that's like sitting there in front. And then for like 1 second, I think it makes a sound and that's it.
But it doesn't move. Right? No. So how does it fall off the shelf?
That's
like
true.
He had one last hurrah, like he was able to move a little bit, and that's it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, dude.
By the way, I wrote down I think like an hour in, what's the plot of this movie?
Yeah.
I'm an hour in and I still have no idea what's going on in this movie.
This is kind of the part that I said the same. I wrote like, what did the Quinn family do to deserve all this? Like, why are they the only family
no reason.
That's really
and again, and at least you have an idea because you saw the picture. I didn't see that picture. So I'm still thinking like, all right, All this is going on, but they're still not explaining anything. There's nothing to explain. Okay.
No, you're right. You're right. And then at this point, Sarah's out. Oh, she's going to the hospital to visit Kim's son. And you have the babysitter, which is the girl from the first scene in the movie that we saw walking around. And with the rollerblade kid, like when he was talking shit, like that girl who kind of looked like she looked super familiar. She wasn't in like a much, but she had like that 90s look. But no, so then we have random guy trying to show up and he wants to give the kid a present.
And it was creepy the way he did it. Like, right, because no one was home. And he's like, first of all, this kid has to learn a lesson. I mean, he's letting strangers in the house. Because didn't he did he walk in the house, right?
Yeah.
Like, so again,
No
this
sense.
this kid could have avoided everything. He could have said, you know what, Mom, here's a guy that's giving me a gift. Clearly, two of them one killed one and one put another one in the hospital.
Yeah.
Here's your murderer.
No,
so.
100%.
Yeah. I think the kid could have I think he was selfish. He let all this happen.
And then right from this scene, we cut like almost immediately to Sarah. She's leaving the hospital. Oh, no. I'm sorry. So she was at the hospital and then she went to her office because the babysitter friggin' told him where she works.
He not only where she works, what floor, where her office. Like, first of all, the babysitter knows way too many details of where she was. Like, I mean, one thing she goes, she's downtown in the she knew the exact address, the floor, and where to find her.
Yeah, when you walk into the office, you make a right, a left, and then it's your second door on the right. Like, that's specific.
And when you get to the front, ask Florence, where she is. She's probably eating lunch in the cafeteria at this point, and like she knew everything. Like, babysitter's not going to know that. She'll know a phone number, and that's it.
That is it. That's all you want to give them anyway. But no, so then the fact that she's getting like, she feels like she's being the creepy parking garage trope. She feels like eyes are on her. She starts like speeding up. She can't get the keys in the door, throws it under. Then guess who we see? Random guy. And she runs. She runs from random guy like it's the end of the world, right?
Hold on a second. But she knows who random guy is. Why did she run? She saw. I mean, one thing is she didn't see him, but she saw him and then ran. She knew who he was because when he was closer, she remember like, oh yeah, that's you. Why would she run?
He asked that after they boned, right? I think after they boned.
What was her answer?
She just said, I don't know.
That explains it.
I guess it was more for the audience for us to be like, holy shit.
Or maybe she's playing hard to get because look what happens 5 minutes later.
It worked.
Which again,
talking about
2 weeks later,
role playing. Chase me.
And again,
they haven't seen each other since. Oh, you know what? Derek's 6. They haven't seen each other in 6 years.
Okay, so
or 7 years.
So 7 years. This is 2 weeks after her husband dies.
Yeah.
And she wastes no time to get to know him again.
And do you remember what she said about Tom? She goes, Tom was able to give our family things that we needed. So that's why I never told you that you were the father. And
the guy decided to sleep with her anyway? I'd be pissed.
He loves her, I guess.
Then where was he all these years?
The military. He left for the military, and I guess that's why that happened. But the fact that they started making out after he caught her, I'm like, what the fuck's happening right now?
Yeah, it was very weird. And then again, like I said, there are two like lovemaking scenes going back to back that were literally like you never see that in a movie. It's usually you're focusing on the one. There was no time to focus on one. It was just going back and forth.
Yeah, that's all we were getting, like back and forth.
Yeah.
And then we reveal that he says, like, I know Derek, I'm Derek's father. Am I right? You're like, whoa, like, okay, this changes a lot of it, right?
But you know what though? How did he know? Like, how did he know all that? Like, how did he know all that stuff? Like, what made him all of a sudden know that if he didn't know it from the beginning? They don't explain that. He just came into town and started like, I mean, like there was really no backstory or explanation for any of this.
No, there was no like reason for him to come now.
And I'm assuming this is the 5th movie. There's no relation to any of the other movies.
No, after the 3rd one, they maybe even after the second one, they became like standalone movies, like kind of like what Halloween was going to do. But then they went back to Michael Myers after the third movie. But like just telling like holiday horror stories like through the franchise title, so people get like hooked into it. But no, how about the college couple? Oh. They're boning the kid's bed.
Yeah, I mean,
and he's home.
So right, I was gonna say that like they're the kid's home, and it's not like it's like nighttime. Like it was, I think it was during the day. Was it during the day?
No. This is at nighttime.
Oh, it is night. Okay, all right.
Yeah, this is nighttime. Yeah.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah.
How do you know?
Because the next scene was at night when we saw. Yeah, the end of the movie is from here. This is like the final act.
I know that, but they were all indoors the whole time. They didn't go outside.
No, they went outside. Don't you remember Superman that flew out of the window?
Oh. That's right. Okay. Okay. First of all, I thought this, like the way the army men were crawling, I thought like all this, like this scene was very like, again, this is what Puppet Master should have been.
Well, that's what Puppet Master was at that point when they were still using like stop motion.
Well, that's what I mean. Like the beginning Puppet Masters probably like this because I thought this was very good. Like, however, there's one toy there that seems to have a very sharp blade. Because these are all toys, right? There's only toys that are attacking. What was that toy that had the blade on it? Had the saw, that circular saw.
What was that? Wasn't it just a car that had the saw come out to the side?
It had it was a blade. It was a saw. It was a sharp saw.
You're saying what toy would have
yes.
that? It's the one that the Toymaker, like the killer toys that they make. How about the alien with the teeth that were chewing her leg off?
But that was an alien. But this was like a toy that the saw didn't come out of anywhere. It was like the full toy.
No, I know. Yeah. It looked like a BattleBot.
Yeah, that's what it looked like. Right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. But
when it had the two saw blades come out and it was like going towards his head. But no, the scene to get to that.
Right. The hand.
Oh, amazing. Yeah, baby. Yeah.
How
you
bizarre.
Never do that.
Oh, that was so gross.
And then it seems like they're getting ready to bone anyway, right? Isn't that what you were thinking
wasn't that
what was happening? No, I know, but why did she slap the hand when the hand went near her downstairs? Because the hand went there and she's like, "Hey, not today, mister," and like slapped it away.
I would assume they're gonna bone. I mean, the guy's in his tidy whities.
Yeah, that's true.
That was weird. So the hand went from the guy's butt to the girl.
Yeah.
So stupid.
That was a horny hand.
It's ridiculous.
But no, then the best is when they're like hooking up and we see Mickey Rooney dressed as Santa Claus come up the stairs. He drops all the toys and then she looks over and she's like, those toys aren't here when we got in here. And he's like most guys would be in the scene, like, I don't give a shit. Just let's keep going. And she's like really confused about it. And then, wow, dude, this whole scene is great special effects.
It is, but like he needed all those toys just to kill those two.
It was fun. Like the dinosaur didn't do anything. I was surprised. I wanted the dinosaur to do something.
Why? Because that at that point, then it's like it's clear what a dinosaur could do. All the other one, I just love the army men like crawling. They were crawling through. They were shooting with bullets. They were like, I mean, like it was like World War III in there, just for this two teenagers. Like I could see if it was like the main good guys and he's trying to like attack them all. But why did he need to bring the entire village to kill these two teenagers? I mean, I think the saw blade was enough.
Oh my God. The saw blade on his like Achilles.
Yeah.
And then the guy fell on the ground. And then when it was like on his neck.
Right. So
the thing that was on his chest that implanted into his chest to stay there. And then the two saws were like going to chop his head off. We didn't see that part of it. But how about the one part that was funny, it reminded me of Critters, was when the alien thing, after she got shot which I don't know how she's still alive after.
Yeah, I know.
Because she got shot multiple times, maybe little bullets.
Well, again,
like in Puppet Master.
They're toy bullets. I mean, you know.
The cannon?
It's so stupid.
But the alien creature thing that goes and starts, at first I thought it was going to bite her downstairs, but it was biting her thigh. And I love that. Like,
they made it look like that was going to happen. They totally made it look like it was going to happen.
But the next scene, she's grabbing it to fight against it and she puts it on her own head. She does the old Critters like, ah! up. Ah.
Well, and again, I say this all the time, even with Chucky. Like, you know, like if a little doll's chasing you, you can't just kick it. Like they literally, the minute you start seeing a toy alive, one, get the hell out of there. Like, I mean, why are you waiting around? Or two, start stomping on them, kick them. Like you're zillion size bigger than all of them. Like they just lay there. Like it just, I don't know. I find it hard to believe that a toy is going to kill me. Or at least I'm going to put up a fight. Like they don't put any fight up.
Well, if any toys listening, you want to try to take down Jamie,
come on.
He's issued an open challenge.
I'm ready.
Bash at the beach, war at the shore.
Come on, Chucky.
Bring it, Chucky. But so and then Mickey Rooney steals Derek. He throws him in his bag. And he leaves with him. And at this same point, this is where I wrote his name for the first time. Noah was random guy. So Noah is telling Sarah about like Joe Petto and talking about like, oh, when I was growing up in the town where I was at, he one of his toys maimed a kid, and then he got sued. And then he moved, and he started this new place. So you're like, oh, and then she's like, oh my god, I need to go home now. So then they get home.
Well, okay, so that's the other thing. So she has this kid who's clearly having issues, and she's just boning this, you know, guy that she just met again.
I know, right?
Leaving the kid at home, you know. And so you're telling me this is only like I'm assuming Geppetto has been doing this for years. He's never gotten caught?
No, I guess not. So, you know, it was a funny line too, when he goes, so I've been going in the store for the last few weeks and buying a bunch of toys, trying to find one that could like maim or hurt a kid. And she goes, did you find any? And he goes, no. And then she's like, I want to go home now. And I'm like, he just admitted that he really didn't find evidence. Obviously we know because of the roller skates and the way like the husband died, which is crazy. Like I know the toy went back together after he died, but when she must have seen that toy still on his face, right? Or was it already off his face in that opening?
No. I think it was the minute he fell, because did it pierce his face? The poker?
No, it went through his chest.
So I think it was already gone. It probably already rolled back into a ball like a pork.
Yeah, I remember the arms going back into the legs.
So that's probably But the kid knew. Like the kid saw the entire thing happen.
Yeah.
Why would he keep it?
Yeah, this is what I wrote. He gave away the one toy, because I'm sure on the news, like they didn't have like a local hotel manager dies from a toy that would like. Well,
the car blew up. Don't forget.
Oh my god, I forgot about that.
He was already dead, so I don't know why the car blew up. But
the old airplane fuel in the trunk of the car.
Yeah, so
it just like blew up.
Yeah, so you know, there's no evidence there.
Yeah, Larry the Larva, knew that's the way you cover up his tracks.
So really, Larry is like a kamikaze. He was on a kamikaze mission. He knew that it was
Yeah, a lot of Puppet Master references, kamikaze. Yeah, but no. So then we get so dude, and then when they get back there at this point, like the babysitter, because they really. Even though she said she wanted to get home, what happened when they pulled in? They were parked, and it seemed like they were going to make out again. He goes, so when are you going to tell him? And she goes, we'll tell him, but let's do it in the morning. And then that's when the babysitter flies onto the car, fully covered in like dark red blood. And dude, and then the best, she's trying to explain. Noah kind of understands, but obviously Sarah is like, what the hell? But like she can't fathom it, and then you get Superman flying in the sky. They dive out of the way just in time, and the garbage can explodes.
What? I'm at this point. I'm like, what is going on? Like,
yeah, I know.
It was just chaos. It was like one thing after it was just complete chaos.
Well, it was definitely chaos when Sarah takes his Ford Jimmy and drives away and makes him run to the store, which I don't know how far away it is. Luckily, Kim, the neighbor, came over like to console this babysitter that's covered in blood. But Sarah's like, I want to go this by myself. And when she gets there, she reminds me of like Children of the Corn. She's like, Petto, where are you?
But why would you want to go by yourself?
I don't know. She wants to take him on one. I don't know either.
But,
That's what I mean.
You literally just saw a bloodied. I mean, like she looked like Carrie bloodied. Like she was filled with blood, and you want to go there alone? Like that made no sense.
No, you're 100%. Like, no. Looking back at like why she would leave, and the fact that he had to run there, and I love when he got there, he was like kind of out of breath. But no, so she goes into the place all by herself, and when this is what we talked about earlier, when he arrives and he looks around, and he's like, Sarah, and he picks the lock in like 2 seconds.
Yeah,
and he's in there.
Well, at least it's locked this time. The other time he just walked in. So I mean,
maybe it wasn't locked and he thought he picked it, but really it was just open. So he like had that like, oh my God, I'm getting good at this. And it was open the whole time.
I feel like this last like 10, 15 minutes just is like one thing after another. It just goes all over.
It's crazy. Like I get so freaked out because you saw how like disheveled like the toy store was, but when she's walking around like the back areas,
the mannequins hanging around and
mannequins, the doll in the birdcage.
Yeah.
Like that's freaky. How about when you see a photo of you and your kid, which that's another reason I was like, why is there just them two? Like Tom's not in this photo.
Okay. Did I miss anything? Do they explain why he's going after this family?
No, that's what we were talking about before. I had no idea.
Okay, so there's still no explanation for that. Because listen,
no, none at all. That's why I was saying that line earlier in the movie when they were in the toy store with Derek, and you heard Geppetto said like, "Oh, he's what his son should be." Then that would make sense.
See, I was thinking like, all right, he's going to replicate the kid and make him a robot or him a toy. I thought he was going to use the kid somehow to make another kid or whatever.
Yeah.
All right.
No, that could have been something. But the fact you see a photo of you and your kid, and there's a knife, like a hunting knife, in his like head.
How big is the store? Because the store looks very small. But it seems
no, it does look really small. Yeah. It's very like skinny. Like when you see the front of it.
Very. And nobody calls the police. Any of this, like you just had you have a murder in the bedroom. You have a bloodied girl. You have a kidnapped son. Not one. You don't call the police once.
Yeah, and it's not late. It's the holidays, so it is. It's the time of year when it gets dark at 4:30, 5 o'clock.
So if it was late, then you can understand not calling the police. But if it's early, then you could call the police.
No. I'm saying if it was really late at night, I'm saying they should have called the police right away. But I'm saying if it was really late at night, then you can understand no people around seeing anything. But it's like essentially probably like 6 or 7 o'clock.
I think
there's nobody driving down that road.
I think the neighbor is useless because she also earlier on when Pino was creeping around the house, she's like, "Yeah, I thought I saw someone in your house earlier." She said that.
Oh yeah. I know.
Okay, and you didn't do anything about it? Like you didn't call, tell her. Like so, like I feel like everybody just turns a blind eye and it just ignores whatever's going on.
Yeah,
that's their problem.
That seems right. So Sarah sees like a head fall from the ceiling. I was like, "Holy shit!" And I'm thinking that doesn't look like the college kid. She grabs it; it's like a pillow. So you're like, what's going on? And then at the same time, Noah gets into the basement, so he's already in there. And then we see Santa come out of nowhere and shoot what I would think would be acid. We didn't see anything on his hands, but he got shot with something from the water gun that caused him to fall into all the boxes.
He went flying into the boxes, and I'm like, is that a water gun? Like I was thinking like again, they don't explain what's in there. Like I thought
it was acid. Like that's what I thought right away.
But his face would melt.
Be like,
okay, wouldn't his face melt if it was acid?
No, I know. No, it didn't happen. No.
Right. So what was it?
I don't know what it was, but it stunned him so much that when Sarah came downstairs, all you saw was his hand in the boxes sticking out. I love that so much.
Ridiculous.
So good.
Ridiculous. I just love like this has got to be such a weird role for Mickey Rooney that like just for the whole movie. Like this is so out of his element. Like if you went on his list of IMDb, you're probably gonna see the same type of role all the time. Not a crazy. It's just amazing that he was in this movie.
Yeah, no, definitely. So then Sarah sees like this light that's coming from behind a door in a back room. She goes in knife first, like ready to rumble. We see, like you said, there was like some really creepy mannequins. Like the one that was a cool kind of end to the movie. Like that one was really creepy. So it's cool that they chose that one.
Yeah.
But so we see Derek in a bag. Like we know that he gets taken in a bag.
Well, they're showing you the camera view from inside the bag.
Yeah. But you know what's funny? The first time they showed the bags, like when she walked in there, when she didn't know, obviously, there was they only showed us as the audience one bag to make like later they revealed that there was like 4. Because at first I'm like, oh, he's in there, but he doesn't speak.
Oh, you're saying so? Okay. First of all, let's clarify this right now. He's choosing not to speak. So if he doesn't, right. So I'm saying, so if this stupid kid doesn't want to say anything and he's inside a bag, shame on him.
Yeah.
Okay. So he easily could be screaming, "Mom, I'm in his bag." So I don't know. I mean, again, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know if this really happens. Like, do people get so traumatized that they just don't speak anymore?
Don't speak. I don't know.
If it does happen, I have to assume it's because they don't want to, not because something shuts down inside their body that they can't speak.
No, I agree. No, right? I think it's not wanting to.
Right.
Speak.
So you shut down. But you can speak if you had to. So this kid had many opportunities to speak, to save himself, to save someone else or whatever, and he chose not to.
He decided not to.
See?
He was very
That's why I said he's the villain. Because a lot of people would be alive if he just opened his mouth.
That's true.
Okay.
He's a villain.
Okay.
Damn kid. But no, so here we get. So Sarah knocks over what looks like Mickey Rooney. All right. But then there's another Mickey Rooney. So, what you were saying before, Mickey Rooney didn't do any of it. He didn't make any of those toys. It was Pino the whole time.
So he was a robot too? Mickey Rooney?
He was a robot. No, he was just a robot after Mickey Rooney. Like, he just killed his dad.
But there were 2 Mickey Rooneys.
Well, there was a dead Mickey Rooney.
Right.
And then there was the mask that Pino took off.
Right. So Pino was...
building the toys.
So it's okay. Who built Pino?
Mickey Rooney did. But he reveals that because he said they got into a car accident and Mickey's Geppetto's wife lost the baby. So they always wanted to have a kid, and he made his kid.
How did he make him? They don't explain it.
As a toy.
It's okay.
But no, it was only recently that he killed his dad because he said, I didn't want him to hurt me anymore, which is we saw plain as day, like, Geppetto beat the shit out of him, even though he had good reason because he made the toy that maimed the kid years ago.
But then who is dead down the steps? Like, are there multiple Pinos? He killed Pino down when he threw.
No, I think that was to trick us as the audience. He didn't really kill him. Maybe he knocked a wire loose or something.
Okay, so who put the wire back in?
Mickey Rooney. He was still alive.
I think there were multiple Pinos.
Maybe there was multiple.
Maybe he opens up the closet. It's like I forget what movie that is. He probably has a closet of multiple Pinos, and after one dies, whatever, he gets another one.
Grab another Pino.
That's it.
Like the 6th day, just keep cloning him over and over and over again.
Why did he take his clothes off?
To reveal, oh my God, dude.
Okay.
When he was an actual Ken doll?
Yeah.
And he had no penis?
But why? Why? Clearly he was a robot. He was he had to show everything.
Shock factor. I thought that was, in my head, I'm like, he's not going to have anything down there. He's just going to be bare.
Maybe that's why he's so angry. That's why he's so angry.
Oh, I'd be angry too.
I was going to say, would you be angry? So
100%. So, how about the fact when he switches the mask, when he takes off the Mickey Rooney mask, and then you see the emptiness of the skull, like the head, and then he puts on the Pino mask, and he has doll hair, which earlier in the movie he doesn't have doll hair.
Okay, so who made the Mickey Rooney mask?
He did. Pino is a master toy maker. Okay. He's the one who made all these killer toys.
So then why didn't Pino make a mom or a female?
I don't know why he did that. And then that's what I mean. I don't know why he chose Derek. That makes no sense. He said, I want you to be my mommy. But when he's going into she's like, how did you do all this? Like, make these toys. And he's like, take a little of this and a little of that. Like, the actor that played this role, dude, superb job at the end. I thought he
did. But the thing is, so his point is he wants a mom. Is that what he wanted?
Yeah. Well, he says exactly, Derek has to die so you can be my mom.
Right. So, okay. So, but again, he had a dad. He can make things. And he wants a mom, but he's like feeling her up.
Oh my God. Dude, he says, I can love you like a real son. And then she's like, he's thrusting.
Yeah. So like, what was how bizarre was what was the point of that?
Very bizarre.
Yeah. All right.
Very bizarre. And then she has the knife still. So she stabs him in the head. He starts short circuiting and he goes, he wanted a real boy, like talking about his dad. So then if I would have thought Pinocchio, then I thought of it because Geppetto. So like if only one of them was there,
right,
I could still get it. But when he's like, he wanted a real boy, and dude, and then you get him doing the bag by bag, which is a cool thing because you're like, where the hell's Derek? Like this whole time. And what the hell does Derek do? He blocks a friggin' knife.
but this is a robot that's creating killing machines. You're going to tell me he doesn't remember which bag he put the kid in?
Well, that's true. I was going to say the fact that we see like a minute later that he's superhuman strength when he's fighting Noah, but he can't get a kid off his back.
He can't get I mean, that was the whole so stupid.
Yeah. And he's screaming, mommy. That's the first words that Derek utters in this whole movie. He's like, mommy, mommy, mommy.
Oh, now he decides to talk.
Now he decides to talk. Noah busts in. He has an axe, like a lumberjack, chops the arm off. And then you're like, holy shit, dude. They're just going to kill him real quick. No, Pino just beats the shit out of him, throws him all over. And the way he's moving, he's like, dude, superhuman. Like,
well, when you watch the clips again, though, like when you showed that clip earlier, and you could see his movement throughout the movie is very robotic in a way,
like a dummy. He looks like a living dummy.
And so once you know and you look back, the signs are there the whole time, and just not paying attention. This movie was like the original M. Night Shyamalan.
Oh, maybe he watched this movie. He's like, ooh, a twist, and another twist,
multiple. So in your mind, that's how he speaks.
Now that's the way Family Guy makes him speak. Or Robot Chicken. Ooh, a twist. But no, so then Sarah comes out of nowhere. She chops him in half with the axe. So he's in half. He's crawling to his dad that he murdered. And he goes, Father, don't leave me. And then, dude, the fucking craziest part of this whole movie is Noah, who knows this, like, he knows Derek really for seconds, really, like, intimately, like, close. And he goes, Derek, don't worry, I'll take care of you. And what does Derek say? Mommy, who's he? And they both laugh it off and they go, oh, we'll tell you in the morning. But we get the trope, killer's still alive, and she stomps the shit out of his head.
Oh.
And then Derek says, Mommy, it's just a toy. And it's like,
yeah, you know what? Like, okay, that bothered me.
Why do you say twice?
His complete turnaround at the end of the movie, like, he's like, why are you making a big deal about this? He acted like what happened? It basically is what, in a matter of 2 days, like between the going to the toy store the first time to now is about 2 days, right?
Oh, yeah.
Right. And he's now acting like, so he knows there's been attacks, murders, and all that stuff. He's like, why are you making a big deal about this? It's only a toy. Really? Really? Like all this, I'm telling you.
No, but I did like that they did choose, like, out of all those things they showed us in that toy room, the creepiest thing was that one doll that kind of had like this weird look to it. But when he came in again, like Derek came back in by himself, which was wild, that they were walking up the stairs and he's like, all right, let me go back in here and just say, just a toy. And then they pan up and you see the eyes flicker in that one. I'm like, all right.
And it goes nowhere. right?
No, I know it definitely didn't go because there wasn't another one after this, but it was like it made you think like, oh, this could happen again. Like maybe Pino somehow was in that. Like you said, multiple Pinos. Maybe that's one of Pino's.
But that's like well, I mean, that's a trope in all these movies, like back in the day, right? It's like you'd see a little twinkle in the eye. Freddy would do a wink or something, whatever. So yeah, I mean, they make you think like, oh, it's another one. But like, is this considered a horror movie though? Like, is it like? I never saw the first one. Like, is the first one like dark and like horror, because this is silly. I feel like this movie was silly.
Yeah, so not to go like too far into like the Silent Night, Deadly Night movies, but in the first one, they're coming back from like a Christmas party. They're driving, they see like Santa pulled over on the side of the road, not like a real Santa, but like a mall Santa or something. And they go to help the guy. And even when you watch the movie, like, oh, they're really nice. This guy's a scumbag. He like beats the crap out of the dad. REPE's the mom right in front of the kid.
Wait. The Santa Claus does this?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
He was like a criminal robbing places.
Oh, wow.
So then they lost both their parents, like the two siblings. The one brother grows up and he hates Christmas and then he goes crazy. But no, there's some good deaths in that movie.
Oh, geez. Okay.
It's a good movie.
Gotcha.
No, I like the original sequel. This first sequel has some cool stuff in it. Never saw the third one. I saw the other ones, but
were they connected?
Yeah. So
were the first two connected?
First two was connected because the second one was the brother.
Okay.
Because out of the two siblings.
Okay.
But and he says the line "Garbage Day." I've been trying to get that guy so bad. Eric Freeman, name Eric something, but yeah, there's some good lines in that movie. But yeah, so Jamie, that was Silent Night, Deadly Night 5, Toymaker. Would you recommend somebody to watch that? I think I know what you're gonna say. Honestly,
I'm torn. I'm really torn on this because I did not like it. I think it was, again, I thought it was all over the place. I'm torn. I'm so torn. I think if people like horror movies, and I mean this one does have good twists and everything. I think it's worth watching if you do like horror movies, even though it's not a horror movie. Like I don't know who this movie is made for. Like I don't know
us.
Well, definitely us. But yeah, I guess. Listen, if you're planning on listening to this podcast, you know the movie or you know about the movie series. I'd say it's just for the twists and the special effects. Yes, the movie is not good. I don't think. But I think the special effects, like again, you know what? I'll put it this way. If you had to choose between Puppet Master or this is your Puppet Master. Watch this.
Oh no. Well, that's not nice.
Why?
That's not nice.
This is way better than Puppet Master 10.
No, I know that, but you're comparing the two of them. And I think it's like not even.
It's a night and day difference. These puppets move like this. If you had to choose between, again, I didn't see the first two Puppet Masters, and I know they move. I'm talking about Puppet Master 10, like or whatever.
Yeah.
This is what Puppet Master 10 should have been. Like Puppet Master 10 would have been way better if these puppets moved. And like I feel like the puppets in Puppet Master 10 were like Mr. Rogers, like puppets. No, is it Mr. Rogers? You know Mr. Rogers, right? The king. Yeah. He has a king on a stick that is
Daniel Tiger.
Yeah. Okay. Exactly. That's what I think. Like so. Like yeah, I would say, I guess watch it, but I didn't like it. So I mean, I'm very torn. I am.
Yeah. No, I enjoyed it because again, I like when I watch a movie that I'm like so. I have to like be involved in it to figure out like who this guy was. Like random guy really brought me into it because I'm like, who the hell is this guy? Like even like when we talked about it, like when we're going through notes, I'm like, man, is this guy a bad guy? Is he a good guy? Like we had no idea. And the fact that when he was chasing Sarah and she's running and then they make out.
There was too many things that didn't make sense. It didn't fall together. I don't know. I mean, but you like movies like this. I mean, this is for me, like I said.
Of all movies.
Yeah. But watch.
Well, this was the last sequel that we're covering for 2022. What a year, right?
Are we getting a break though? Like I feel like we've literally like about 5 movies in a row that I want to pull I poke my eyes out. Like I mean, like, do we have anything on the horizon that
Munchie? There's a new Munchie coming out. No. That's why I think I didn't want to announce the next one. We're going to start 2023 off with. Because we have a couple ones in the pipeline that might be a good way to kick off the year. Even though I know we've covered so many Friday the 13th, we're not going to be covering a Friday the 13th to kick off the year, even though there is a Friday the 13th in January. We'll save it for October so we're not burning through so many of them because we have to save some of them, even though this pod's it's not going away anytime soon. But next week, me and Jamie are going to do, actually works out perfect. We'll do like a little year in review, look back at some of the movies that we covered, and then also a little bit about, because it's our 250th episode next week.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. I remember when we did our 100th, that was our review of Back to the Future 3, and that felt so long from 1 to 100, but man, 1 to 250, what a journey. How many people we've interviewed and how many sequels we covered. God, man, it's insane.
Yeah.
Really, it is. So it'd be fun to talk about this year and then a little bit about the prior to that. But so that'll be fun. So no homework, no interview next week. Just gonna be us again, just shooting the shit for an hour or something. But so don't forget to review, rate, share our podcast, follow us on all social media at Sequels Only, and don't forget to check out our website, sequelsonly.com. Good night.
Good night.
Good night, guys.